St. Patrick's Day, the morning after. May 18th, 2026. Challenge rooms. For scientifics, please. Anything of this video will be used specifically for scientific and research purposes that have been allowed by the laws I decree myself susceptible and believer into. Cheers. Including smoking cigarettes on camera. Sorry, kiddos. All the kiddos, please leave. So my next challenge venture is for the use of mycology and seeing the differentiations. Growing cycloban mushrooms. At a legal scale, please. If you think this is an illegal video, please leave it down. But I have the supplies here that I need. The first and most important supply, even over the mushrooms themselves, is the act of sanitation. I have to put the alcohol in there. I have to sanitize everything for their... It will take about 4 weeks, maybe 5 even, for perfection, for this bag to cultivate a mycelium, the root system of the mushrooms, and thus anything being able to do. And the sanitization of when you set it up, as well as continuing with the process, is almost more important, if not more important, than the spores themselves. I'm a scientist, so please understand that. Food scientist. This is something we grow, trumpets and whatnot, all that shit. You see the mushrooms in the wild. Yeah, no, we had that. I don't have an ashtray. Let me get the ashtray. This is the place in my condo where they will matriculate into mycelium from what I bought on Amazon. This 5-pound bag of substrate. Now you'd say this is nothing important, but this is very important. This is the dirt that'll be placed for the next update videos. Maybe a week in, maybe 2 weeks in, maybe 3. Maybe even when it bursts and I figure out the finals of it. Now, for scientific use, I have purchased 2 strains. Both the easiest strains to grow on substrate because it's just for mycology and effects in scientific language. The place you purchase these mycopies is spores101.com. It's based in Florida. It's very professional. 2 of the easiest strains of the cycloban cubinosis mushroom I purchased. Strains are each different type of it. One of the easiest and most accepting strains is the B+ strain of the cycloban cubinosis. Got that. As well as what I've used previously for mycology. For more of a value of a standard that I understand of it, over how they are. Specifically the gills and the reproductive systems. For DNA and our intent, I don't want to get too much into my other lives. But they come in syringes that you have to inject into this sealed bag. There is an injection port, I assume. But this is what needs to be done in order for that to happen. First, you need to have set up. I need to have set up alcohol in a spray bottle. Alcohol is a very nice sanitizer. Yeah, no, I'm a little drunk. I'm always a little drunk. Don't judge. Trust me, I don't produce much alcystine or whatever. I've talked to my therapist over announcing the fact that they should know I'm half Northern Italian. I'm half Northern Irish. And it was just St. Patrick's Day. As well as I'm mostly Native American on the other side with a slight bit of Polish bringed in. So I have very little risk of any sort of cirrhosis or liver poisoning. Also, I don't generally get hangovers unless I mix extreme amounts of different types of liquors. But we now have the alcohol. Spray that. I hope it works. I did not. Here we go. I hear it. Oh, it picked up. Okay. So the first thing I want to do, just before I do anything at all, give a preliminary spray. The substrate was in the way. The first thing I want to do, before I do anything at all, is give a substrate. Honestly, alcohol rules. I'd be racing if it wasn't for it. I do have symptoms, bipolar, maybe a diagnosis. Could be even schizo at that, of a bipolar. Plus plenty of anxiety, where I could not do this in person. But yeah, the only thing on this table is a future arts project of candle jars, Yankee candle jars to be specific. The big candle jars. I like a nice scent in here. And the candle jars do good for staying the good scent for a good long time because they're large. I'm working on techniques to get the last of the wax out of the candle jars. I've heard boiling water in glass sounds dangerous to me, but to make the jars reusable instead of throwing them out. So I keep them right now while I'm working on that. My cat says hi. He sneezed because he's like, that's too much alcohol. But that's what you have to do for this. Also, for sanitation needs, sorry, Kimberly Nemeth. I know we haven't really talked. I understand. My North Jersey friend. Let's wash my hands. And arms. And nails. Sanitation for this process is very important. I also have to do my dishes. I'll get to that. You know, I used to work in a hospital where I watched surgeons. And this is what they consider the field of safety. Where if their arms ever drop below this field, they don't use the arm in the surgery. Yeah, I cleaned up after them in the surgery rooms, made it nice for the next people's. CNOR. Got nepotized by my mom. But they don't do much of drying when they do surgeries for people, or touching of anything else other than everything that they have to. And I do use, I use Power Wash Dawn as hand soap. I gotta say, it has alcohol in it. It works just the same as this sanitizers for here. Well, let's take a gander at the substrate because it says it has instructions. And I'm hoping I can reuse the bag that's packed in. 4-month journey. I think I lost something. Here we go. Just a bag there. I don't think I can actually use it. I don't think I'll need it. But this one is from Spore Sorcery. I don't see an inoculation point. Believe it, I've done this before. Very well versed in this. The substrate does look nice. And it gives you a place to put where the date inoculated is and the variety. It's very professional. You have to say professional. Clean the injection porch with an alcohol wipe. Did not see an injection point. Ah, there it is. There it is. There it is. So, they'd say an alcohol wipe. I have the spray. Let's tip this over right here for that. Get that ready before we get anything done before any of that. Find a place away from drafts of air. You know, this is the time to turn off your heating system, turn off your air conditioning system, any fans you have, and find a place in a sterile environment. Much I said. Mine's not as sterile as a surgeon. Almost became one until I saw a heart surgeon kill a person and make him alive again from outside the operating room, and then I'm like, I'm not going to do this. Anyway, quickly insert the syringe and inject 10 cc's of spores or life culture. I have 2 of those, one golden teacher, one B+. Wait approximately 3 weeks. It could take 4 weeks. It has to sit in a sterile environment while it's waiting those 3 weeks. I'll tell you that because it's not new as much as you think to me. Once grain is fully white, mycelium, the root structure of mushrooms, is white. Break it up and mix evenly with the substrate. After mixing, compact the contents of the bag firmly. Wait another 3 weeks. So they're saying 4 to 6 weeks instead of 3 to 4. It'll inoculate the outside first. Step 3, fruit. When the substrate is 100% colonized, white all the way through, inside and out. Unfold and lift the bag from the top and allow it to inflate air. Wait about 3 more weeks. And then harvest. Cut the bag open, twist and pull the mushrooms at their base. Enjoy your mushrooms. And after harvest, the bag can be gently misted and closed with a paper clip. You can close it. You can do it right. And you can enjoy multiple flushes. That would be multiple harvests. So let's go into my syringes. For this one, I decided to use the B+ because it's slightly easier than the Golden Teacher. The Golden Teacher I'd actually like to keep on my kitchen counter. 1 syringe per bag is all. You don't want them arguing over which syringe should colonize it over dominancy. But I have here the B+ and the Golden Teacher. The B+ I'll be using in addition to the disposable needle. And the Golden Teacher, which I'll be using for the next bag. I believe it arrives next week. I still won't use it though. So I need to find a place to store this Golden Teacher where I'll be safe. Now while it's in this bag, all that I really just have to worry about the temperature. And honestly, it should go up better because it's left more with the syringe. I'm going to put that in my living room over the get to it later for the second syringe. But here we'll be doing the cyclobin B plus for scientific microscopy. I put them under a microscope and I look at how they are, and I interact them with other. Anyway, I have hobbies, so. But the B plus syringe is right here, and it is 10 millimeters as asked for. Now they don't actually mention this, but just from knowledge, giving it a good shake beforehand definitely makes for a better injection. And when you do the 10 millimeter, 10 whatever, injecting it in multiple sites with 2 millimeters, some deep in on 1, 2, 3, and then side near the front, 4, 5, all 10, whatever, shows a better harvest I've seen. One more shake. I just want to, you can spray this. Just give that one quick spray. Always keep the alcohol around for sanitizing this whole process. You could even sanitize the bag and let it dry out. I don't think that'll be needed. I think I bought good quality products. So we have that sitting out on the alcohol. Disposable syringe right here. Now they do say wipe down the alcohol spot to place it in after you spray it or whatever you do. And I do believe in that. So honestly, alcohol and substrate makes a black spot. So I generally use a non-Puffs Plus Kleenex tissue. I like the double wipes on my nose when. Yeah, man. Some people use the worst toilet papers to wipe and everything. You gotta. Anyway. So here we are with this part. I'm gonna open up the needle first. Looks like it's gonna be a half-hour video. Not really paying attention to time. I don't know if I'm gonna post it anywhere. Maybe YouTube. Maybe YouTube if they allow it. But this is how you do these. You just pull back that much, and you have that quickly placed. And they don't say that you have to do it, and they don't recommend it for some applications. But I do wipe the needle with the same wipe I used to wipe everything else, the tissue. So we're gonna go for direct to the front, 2 cc's. Okay, and then we're gonna pull it out just partially, about halfway, tilt it all the way to the right, push it back in all the way, and do 2 more cc's. And we're gonna pull it out about 3/4. Oh, it came out all the way. It's fine. Don't clean it. Just stick it in all the way to the left. Yep, that's the second jab. It's fine. Because there's actually 2 more jabs. And then pull it out. Pull it out. We got 3 jabs in the middle. And we're going to tilt this up. And just for visibility causes, I'm going to jab it in right there with 2 cc's there. And pull it out all the way. And then jab it in the same of the other angle. 2 cc's. Now, it's very important. I come from healthcare. Please put the caps back on your needle. They do. They do help. They do help. They save seagulls' lives or turtles, whatever the fuck you care about. They make it so I don't get jabbed at the beach. But after you get that, you have this. That syringe. I'm going to save this for vanity causes. Make sure I dispose of it nice, but that is empty. That is completely empty. So now I have this bag ready to go and the environment ready to go that needs to sit for the next month. Now with gravity, I understand it. This over where I have already created a sterile environment goes there. But cheers, understand this is all professional and certified that mycologists do this.
Hello? Hello?